So I got about 4 hours of sleep.
I got way more than that. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was necessarily quality sleep, but I got a lot of sleep. So
Great for you.
I know. How come you only got 4 hours of sleep?
My brain wouldn't stop. I was like, oh, well, if people buy the china at the estate sale, we're going to have something to wrap it in. So then I was on Amazon buying boxes and wrapping paper, but not wrapping paper, wrapping paper.
Is that not the job of the person who's running the estate sale?
It is not something he's mentioned, and he talks nonstop. So he said, sometimes people ask for boxes. That's the only thing he said to me. And I was like if I end up buying that china, then I need something to wrap in. So I would imagine, since there's 3 different sets of china and lots of glassware, it might be a good idea to have some boxes and wrapping paper. So
where is it all?
Oh, it's everywhere. Basically the next 10 to 12 days of my life is just this. And then hopefully the house will sell. Someone will have a wonderful Christmas present, just like Miracle on 34th Street.
Just like Miracle on 34th Street.
Maybe I'll take a nap.
Not getting a house for Christmas?
Elliot Fit. Hello, and welcome to the I Love You Bet podcast. I'm Heather, and this is my sister,
Rian. Each week, we will revisit relics of our childhoods using our multiple master's degrees
to critically evaluate the crap that consumed our misspent youth. So join us,
sisters, latchkey kids, cuspers, and lazy feminists as we look back at our past to say, I love you, but...
how'd you waste time this week? My dear sister, Ryan Davis.
Let me check my list, my notes.
Oh, good job.
My 1 page of notes that I wrote on the back of the karate class rules because I couldn't find my notebook. So I've started, I meant to mention this last week, but watching the Harry Potter baking show on HBO Max.
What?
Yes, it's very good.
I might need your password because also I wanted to finish Penguin and I was give me the password. I mean,
okay. Well, yeah. Let me know. I mean, you're still having a calendar.
4 hours of sleep.
Yeah. It's hosted by the guys that play the Weasley twins.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And then it's got, the celebrity chefs, but none of them are home bakers. It's all professional bakers who won other things. So,
okay.
But everything they do is fantastical. The first one's create a 2-foot something with the thing and a magical element. So it's cool. So it's not like regular baking shows, which at this point I'm just boring.
I started watching the British Bake Off Professionals.
Oh, yeah.
And I remembered why I had to stop watching it because they all get so tense and anxious and then they start fighting. And I'm like, it was this is not relaxing.
The Harry Potter
give them all one
good.
more hour. They can still compete. Just give them an extra hour. That's all they need. Just one more hour. And then everybody's less stressed and it looks better and everybody's happy and it's wonderful.
Well, if they gave them all the time in the world, then it would
No, did I say all the time in the world, bitch? I said 1 hour.
If you give them 1 more hour, then they're going to want, these people
I can't control that. They can't control that. Well, how else did you waste time?
So another way that I have been wasting time is by starting to decorate for Christmas, breaking with my life-held long tradition of not decorating until after Thanksgiving.
It's really hard to do because Thanksgiving is so late this year and also all the things.
Yeah, it's mostly all the things. Yeah. Some reasons. And I'm decorating more. So the last few years, I don't know. I haven't even gotten all the decorations out. I've just done a tree.
Yeah.
And then, partly it's because I'm stressed with work. I'm doing it by myself. Ben will get the tubs out, but, mostly it's me doing the work. And then we're gone for 2 weeks. and then I come back and have to like put it all away while working, So since we're not going to be gone for 2 whole weeks, and Elliot's actually had an age where he can help in a actually helpful way.
Yay.
And he's very excited and wants to get it all out. So I'm having to like every day. It's like the only thing we're doing today is this, right? Like the only thing we're doing today is this. So, and he's handling that well. But yes, it is breaking with my long held tradition of not doing any decoration until after Thanksgiving. And speaking of traditions, this movie we watched is part of my traditions that I'm now also breaking, because normally Thanksgiving Day is watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, then watch Miracle on 34th Street, and then watch Meet Me in St. Louis, and then watch from there. Not all on the same day, but just that was the order in which.
All right.
So lots of breaking with tradition, because you know what? Who cares? Like, I'm going to do what makes me happy, and it's making me happy. You'll love this. I'm actually considering only getting a tree that's like 3 feet tall.
I love that. That way Cricket is less likely to get at it.
1, price, and 2, I don't know that it'll really affect whether or not Cricket can get at it. And also space in my house. So it can go on top of the table. But we'll see what happens when I get there.
Good luck. Good
So
luck.
I had to spend $20 on Coke Zero for your mother.
Nobody told you to spend $20.
Well, they're buy 2, get 3 free. And they're each $10.
Well,
I got 3 Coke Zero and 2 Fresca.
She will pay you back. She also is not going to drink that much.
Well, but I mean, she's going to drink at least 2, right?
Yeah, probably.
So whatever. Ben will drink the Frescas. So
okay.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And I wish my neighbor weren't leaf blowing. I watched the entire.
It makes you feel better.
Oh, that's good. I watched the entire first season of Cross on Prime, which is about a detective named Alex Cross. I think it's Alex Cross. And it's by James Patterson, but it's primarily a cast of Black actors, and it's lit for Black people. So it's like super sexy. And everyone on it is super sexy except the crazy people. And Ryan Eggold from New Amsterdam and Blacklist, and I really am obsessed with his acting. Is very good. So that was a way that I wasted time, but I did lots of other things while I was watching. It was just kind of like background. Like,
you were wasting time while you were wasting time.
Yes, yeah. And then I am done Christmas shopping. I did not buy you the Funko Pop, The Cure band.
Thank you. I'm glad that we've evolved, because I feel like 10 years ago, you would have bought that for me.
Oh, it's been really hard. Like, I'm not allowed to go into stores anymore, because if I see anything Harry Potter, I want to buy it for Elliot. And then I'm like, you can buy it next year. You can buy it next year, Heather. He'll still like Harry Potter next year.
Yesterday I texted you that he said he's a magical child because of his charm or his cuteness and his lovingness or something.
And that's when I said we have to watch for Psychopathic.
But he was saying he's not a wizard. He's just a magical child.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I said,
he still likes Harry Potter, but.
And then I said, when he says shit like that, we need to watch for psychopathic tendencies. So,
yes, always.
What I have learned from Christmas shopping is that apparently I am into pale pink right now. I bought myself a notebook that has a pale pink background with bright, bold flowers on it.
Yeah.
And, but I'm into florals sometimes. And I bought 2 different kinds of pink wrapping paper and a pink bag with deer on it, even though you don't want anything wrapped in a bag. And I'm just going to put something for me in it because the bag made me so happy.
Heather, I'm breaking with tradition. You do what makes you happy, friend.
No, you want to rip into things. So we'll rip into things.
I don't even want presents. I'm real into like the pale pink, like retro Christmas tree. So like the Vermont Country Store, you know, like their catalog. I was looking at it at Martha's house, and they have like a little pink one with the white snow. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to buy that for Heather so bad. Like I want to buy it for you. And then like driving to the farm, there's a house that Elliot makes us go down what they call the roller coaster road, which is like Big Hills, whatever. But they have like 3 different inflatables, but one of them is like a pink. I can't remember if it's like a present with a cake coming out of it or if it's a cake with something else coming out, you know, but it like does the up down thing. But it's the same like pink. And I'm like, oh, like first I want the Bluey family inflatable Christmas. And then after that, I want this one. If I were ever to buy inflatables, but I'm not ready to pull that Band-Aid off yet. Like and become one of those people.
Yeah. You don't have anywhere to put them. So
what?
You don't have anywhere to store them. So you don't need to worry about that.
Well, I mean, I have the shed, but also like people steal them. And so like, that's kind of been, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's happened recently, but like, yeah, theirs got stolen a couple years ago. Like that year, a lot were getting stolen, but so I don't want to pay $160 for a thing and then have it get stolen because I'll be real fucking mad.
Well, it's too bad you can't come to your uncle's estate sale because there will be many inflatables at the estate sale. And we're going to go to 90% off the last 2 hours.
Well, if there's any inflatables left at the 90% hour, you let me know.
How am I going to get it to you, dear?
I don't know. I'll drive there at some point. Probably next summer.
Awesome. Anything else you wasted time on this week?
I'll bring all of Mom's leftover Coke Zero with me.
Or anything else you wanted to share?
No, not really.
I'm getting real close to the camera.
I mean, we went to Elliot's parent-teacher showcase night, which was very fun. That was their PBL was preparing for their showcase. So like they were the ones showing all of it. So it's like half the parents come one night and half the parents of all 4 classrooms that are all in one room. So it was very crowded. And then Elliot, like he was like, Mommy, they're going to have cupcakes tonight. They're green with sprinkles. We got there and there were no cupcakes.
Wow.
It's like, Elliot, what happened to the cupcakes? He's like, I don't know. Maybe the teachers ate them. It's like, yeah, that's probably true.
Like, oh, we're going to deal with all these parents after dealing with their kids. Shoveling the cupcakes. Shoveling the cupcakes.
But, it was fun. Like at the very end, they like, all right, everybody get your Chromebook out and show your parents how you log in and go to this and that and the other. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And they do it. So it's good times, different world we're living in. Also, I was like looking around going, is there any fucking adult chairs in here? It was like, no, don't sit on a table. Don't sit on a table. Don't sit on a table.
Good idea.
But it was fun. It was great. I got documentation to support my belief that my child is exceptional.
Congratulations.
All right. What do you remember about Miracle on 34th Street, Heather?
I remember almost everything. I, like you, also watch this movie every year. Typically on Thanksgiving, though not always. I love The Skeptical Child. I love A Skeptical Child. That's so good. I love A Boss Single Mom. Even though the League of Decency or whatever the fuck gave this like a B because a B morality grade because she was a divorcee. Yeah. And I love the use of the post office in court to win a court case. Like that was fucking fantastic. Yes.
The government person in me also really enjoys that. So we may have to watch that in AP Gov this year. Because I do
There's a surprising amount going on during that court case that we can talk about.
I definitely remember everything about this movie because I've watched it so many times to the point that I've actually done research on it before while watching it. Wow. Yeah. Mostly about the thing I remember researching was the story about the guy that pretended he was a Russian czar and everyone just believed him.
Oh, yeah. The one that you can't remember his name.
Yeah, but it was, and it was true. It was, and it's kind of like that that bitch that was on Dancing with the Stars that just recently that was in jail.
Hey,
Yeah. And just like, I mean, I don't think hers was quite the same. I think, in this case, like this guy was just nuts, but he was charming. So
yeah.
like,
Well,
sure,
I mean, he made a restaurant.
Czar.
He fed people. Like she never did anything. She tried to, but she never actually provided any services.
Yeah. So it was just awful. So, but yeah, so I remember everything. I've got a challenge for you. And sadly, because I think it'd be funny if you didn't, but I think you're gonna succeed.
Oh,
can you name all of the reindeer?
Oh, Dasher and Dancer and Donder, Blitzen.
Oh,
Comet, Cupid, Rudolph.
Rudolph does not count.
Dasher and Dancer and Donder and Blitzen. Something and Comet and Cupid and Vixen.
There's one you're missing.
Schmoodoff.
That's everyone always forgets Schmoodoff, the father of Rudolph. Schmoodoff.
Frank
and Schmonder.
Donder.
No,
I said Donder the first time.
No, Prancer.
Oh. Prancer.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, Blitzen.
Okay, there we go. I would have got that if I'd had more than 4 hours of sleep.
See, I figured you would have got it because of Desk Set as well as...
No, the song. I mean, that's how I remember anything.
And the song, but also because in Desk Set, they all those phone calls where they're like, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, Blitzen.
Yes. And I know it's Donder because in the original Samuel Clement story, that's how he wrote it in his hand. And then it got changed to Donner, but it's Donder.
Donder. Like, what does Donder mean? Like, it's a word, right? It's like a real word.
I Donder know.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of yonder.
You know what I do know?
What?
You don't put clowns on a pirate float like she told them to do in the beginning. That was crazy.
Yeah. The organization and I don't know. No. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
like, because then she's like, all right, parade started. I'm gone. I'm like, who's in charge of the end? Like, putting all this shit.
It reminded me of Abney. That's what she would do, right? Like, once the play started, she would just, like, go hang up upstairs and she couldn't watch it. Because it's, like, so totally out of her control at that point. There's nothing she can do. So she would just go and pace. Man, I saw something the other day. Somebody put it, kudos to you, whoever you are. It was like, is Wicked even a musical if the cast doesn't go to Denny's after and talk about it?
Yeah, it's a good musical, not a high school musical.
Speaking of musicals and high school theater.
Yeah, I definitely felt some of that when we did our, like, they had their mock trial event, and like I was like, turn around, like being a stage mom, because they're like, I'm like, the jury's the audience, turn around, and like slow, like texting them, like, tell them to turn around. Like cackling from the audience to make it like go longer. So
you need to get one of Captain Von Trapp's whistles and create a whistle for like turn around.
I know, like
turn around.
I know, they were like talking about something. They're like, and so, and he was a police informant. I'm in the audience going, he was a snitch, like trying to get the audience to like interact. It was pretty fun. But anyway, so yeah.
What kind of mock trial is this? Ah, drunken Santa Claus. Good old Mark Davis up there.
I'm something to keep warm.
And then they stole his clothes, so he couldn't keep warm at all. That Santa.
He was passed out at that point, so you know.
I was very happy that everyone was wearing a hat, unlike in last week's movie where only some people were wearing hats. In this movie, everybody was wearing a hat.
It was much more accurate.
apparently it was so cold when they were filming all those exterior scenes. Like, it was very, very cold. Like, Maureen O'Hara kept like shaking her hands and stuff to try to keep warm. And I thought, oh, she's acting. And then I read about it later. It was like, no, it was very cold. And so for one of the scenes where they had to be outside a lot, there was like a lady across the street that had a house that would like let them come in when they weren't filming and warm up. And so Maureen O'Hara and her husband took them to 21 or I don't know, some like fancy restaurant. And the woman was so excited and nervous to be there. It looked like she just had like a glass of milk. Like, she couldn't order any real food because she was so excited.
Well, this is kind of okay. This kind of goes along with something. So one thing I did look up this time. So I was very struck by that the story for this was written by a gentleman named Valentine Davies.
Yes,
and I was like, that's a name I like. So I looked him up, and there wasn't a whole lot. Like he won an Academy Award for this story.
Oh, good.
And then he did a bunch of other movies. There's like awards in his names and all that. He was like, the head of the Screen Actor Writers Guild for a while and all that. But he died young. He was only 55.
Oh.
And he died from a heart attack that was brought on by a deep belly laugh.
Way to go, Dak laughing.
I'm really afraid that I could kill someone one day.
Because you're that funny.
Being this funny is dangerous.
Maybe yourself.
Probably.
Well, Facebook reminded me this week, and then also this movie reminded me of when we went to Montreal together and happened upon the Christmas parade.
Yes.
Which was super fun.
It was the weekend before Thanksgiving, right? I think, or it was real close to Thanksgiving.
It was around that time, but also they have different Thanksgiving than we have, so that doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, I just mean it was like close to the Christmas holiday season. Yes, I know their Thanksgiving is not the same as ours.
And that French Canadian kid that was like mad at me because I couldn't speak any French.
Yes, he was very upset with you for not speaking French. You were like, I speak English. I think he was mostly mad at that.
Well, I mean, it was like, I don't even know how to say it. You
couldn't even be like, parlez-vous English?
Right. No, I didn't parlay shit.
Little did we know.
One of our past episodes is titled Je parle anxiety.
Yeah. You're going to apply to go to move to Canada, and they're going to be like, oh, nope, you can't. Sorry. I
would want to live in Quebec. Fuck that.
That's true. I don't know.
Thank you.
Anyways,
yes,
that was a very fun time to be in Quebec around Christmas time, and it snowed, and it was cold, and there was Christmas festivities everywhere.
And everybody was so rude, and that's fine.
I don't remember. I feel like we've talked about this before, but I don't remember everyone being rude. But okay,
I think you're just used to people being rude.
Probably. I mean, because like we'd been to LA.
Yeah. And everyone was rude in LA too. I think it was just more that like I have been told my whole life. I have been told my whole life Canadians are nice. And the first time I go to Canada, everybody's freaking rude. Just like, this is some bullshit. Like, you didn't put an asterisk at the end of Canadians are nice. You need to.
Except in Quebec. French Canadians are not nice.
Yeah, or at least the ones
because the French aren't nice.
The ones in Montreal are not nice. I don't like them.
Okay, well.
I like how this movie is about the uneasy marriage of Christmas and capitalism.
Yes. Yes.
And they're very upfront about it, which I liked a lot.
I think that Alfred's probably my favorite character in this movie.
Alfred's such a sweetie, but like, did they have to like read him for filth on his indulgent eating? Like, damn, leave him alone.
I know, but
Natalie Wood
is bad isms floating around out there.
Natalie Wood is the goat of side eye. Like, it was good.
Yeah.
And I
want to talk about this idea that like what she says, that she thinks that we need to be completely truthful with our children.
Oh, okay.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I lie to Elliot all the time. Like so much so that like, for example, this week I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Excuse me. Thank you. I don't know why I said thank you.
I don't either.
Thank you for waiting for me to sneeze. Thank you for allowing me space to do that.
It's hold space for you to sneeze, right?
Yes, please. Thank you for holding space. So like Thursday, it snowed during the day, like pretty hardcore. But it's been so warm, it didn't stick to anything. And like I had my second blood class and we were having a big heart to heart about some things. And then it just really started snowing. And I have these windows in my room that open. I was talking about how I was like, if y'all want to go out there, go out there. Like people have gone out there before. And they were like, oh, I remember that. I saw the video, And so then it starts really coming down, like big, beautiful snowflakes. And they're like, can we go out? So then I was like, just one or two, like 5 of them start. And I was like, what? Do y'all just want to go outside? Like, this is not okay.
Yes.
Like, so we go outside and they shenanigans and carol to teachers at their windows who don't have a class or whatever. And anyways, so then Connor, the student that I pay to pick Elliot up and bring him to me every day, shows up with Elliot, and Elliot comes in and he's like, I didn't get to go outside and play in the snow. Mm-hmm. And Connor goes, didn't you take your class outside? And I was like, shut up. I was like, no. I looked at him and was like, almost said up to a student. And I was like, no, we did not do that. And then another student was like, are you sure? I thought, and I would look at him, I was like, up. And then they were all kind of laughing at me. And I was like, you know what? When you're parents, call me. Call me and tell me you don't lie to your children.
Well, the thing is so, Shakespeare made the whole, you start off a baby and then you end up a baby. You revert back to childhood as you grow older, right? And I really wish people would pay more attention to that. But it's like that. It's like, I lie to those old people, all of the old people, not even just my old person at the resort. I lie to all of them because it doesn't fucking matter. No. I feel like we should all lie all the time about stuff that doesn't matter. Just be truthful when it matters. But otherwise, fuck, who cares? It's all made up anyway.
Yeah. And I think the world is such has so much awfulness in it that I have absolutely no problem trying to create and maintain some whimsy and joy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, most people just distract themselves with television and video games and porn and whatever. And it's foodscaping. What? How is that any different? Whatever.
Fridgescaping?
Fridgescaping. Sorry, not foodscaping.
Okay. Is that still happening? I'm not on social media, so I don't know if that's still a thing.
I love the drunk wife.
I highly promote lying to your children because fuck it. Who cares?
Because fuck it.
Yes.
I love the drunk wife, and she had the world's biggest ring on. It was so huge. I don't know how I never noticed that before. Very strange. Very, very strange.
Thanks, dude.
I love the idea of a couple of billionaires being competitively charitable. That's the real miracle of this movie.
Yes.
And this movie is just a sea of white people. But I wondered,
I was going to be like, why do we remake movies? You should watch the original and not the blah, blah, blah one and da, da, da. And we shouldn't just watch. And I was like, well, okay, well, hold on, Ryan. Maybe we should remake movies when the original, is, walking around with a bunch of stereotypes and the only people of color you see are servants and.
Yeah.
But then
in the mailroom.
It would be interesting to watch and see what the 1994, I think, or 97 version, if it does any better.
Does it have Greg Kinnear in it? I feel like it has Greg Kinnear in it.
It has the little girl that played Matilda.
Okay.
But I don't remember. I don't know that I've ever.
That's the problem is you're not going to be Natalie Wood's performance. So.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, the only excuse to remake a movie or watch a remake is if it has better portrayals. Right?
Except that there is a truth to the portrayal at the time, which was everybody was like, no, we're just going to whitewash history, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, yes, also that. I mean, so like balance it, right? You know? Like mom giving me the book that has the Brer Rabbit stories in it, you know, with like the original language, and like, am I going to read this out loud?
Right.
You know?
Maybe not. And then we get into the trial, and I wondered if this trial helped you feel like you were prepping for a mock trial. Now that you finished the first.
I mean, the like judge who's, you know, worried about re-election, and like I loved Fred Mertz showing up. That was always fun.
Oh yeah, when he was getting his stogie in a bunch.
Yeah, so it's nice to always see people from like, oh, they made other things. And then like you realize that like they just made so many fucking movies and things back then that it was like, you know, you're like, oh, they were never in anything else. And then it's like, oh no, they were in like 100 things that I've never seen because they just made so many goddamn movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like now.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. But sure. But yeah, like I like that where, you know, the judge is being manipulated politically, but also like I'm manipulated by his child.
Yeah, no, and the DA. I love the idea of using kids to attack their parents. So like it reminds me of when I had my Republicans for Voldemort bumper sticker. So many upset 8-year-olds. So many upset 8-year-olds on I-35, like grumpy.
8-year-old actual 8-year-olds or like adult 8-year-olds?
No, yeah, like kids. Like, how dare you? Like, no. Talk to your parents.
I think that still holds true.
Yeah.
And we should find more of those bumper stickers.
Also, this movie will teach you about the sausage getting made because it talks about the confluence of the courts, capitalism, the press, public opinion, and politics, which is pretty much how the sausage gets made in this country. So,
yeah.
Huzzah! And then I realized part of it is because I'm preparing for this estate sale. But also, I've been trying to be a person with fewer things for a long time now, you know, like living out of a bedroom and a closet, and like that's it, you know. And it's like, all the stuff that's in this closet, I don't know, do I need it? Like, I haven't touched it in a while. I guess if it's like
I'm like looking behind you right now, and I was like, really? You trying to get rid of stuff, huh? Like, that's a lot of shit behind you.
You want to see how much stuff I have compared to your stuff, and we'll talk.
Wait, does Elliot's stuff included in my stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then fine.
And even if it wasn't, you'd still have more stuff than me. But anyway, how much of our lives we spend getting rid of stuff by making it someone else's problem. Like we die and then there's all our shit we have to do.
Yeah. Take it to Goodwill.
Yeah. You know, and then it reminded me of one of the Exactly Right podcasts is called I Said No Gifts. And they came up with a game called Gift or Curse. So, like, remember how mad I love Shelly, but I got mad because she gave me an orchid, and I'm like, this is a gift. It's a curse. So I just love that the mail office was like, the post office was like, oh yeah, we get rid of all this mail. Like, take it to the court, make it someone else's problem. Yeah. And then I have one last thought on this film. You may have more, but here's mine. Currently, this is how I feel about democracy. I believe it's silly, but I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have thoughts about that, but you know.
For other politics or other podcasts where we talk about politics.
I mean, I believe that democracy can work, but I believe that it takes people being involved, and we haven't been involved, and we let this happen, and now we want to be all mad about it. So, because even at this point, I keep thinking over the last couple of days that it's like, at what point am I going to be willing to put myself out or make myself uncomfortable to fight against this?
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a postcard party in support of trans people. Like just like refilling out representatives' names and restamping and then being like, hey, Tuesday night group, sit down. Here's some possible talking points. Like,
well, I mean, so the Supreme Court is about to hear their first case on trans rights for youth. So December 4th is when they'll hear that case. So
they don't read mail, do they?
I don't. I mean, they're not supposed to be swayed by public opinion. They're supposed to.
They're also not elected. So
yeah, well, I know. They're supposed to adhere to the Constitution and the laws. So, the 14th Amendment says equal protection for all citizens. And the law says these people can't have this treatment, but these people can. And so that's kind of the basics of what the case is about, or what the argument is being made on, is that there's a caveat in the law that says that if you are trying to affirm identity that matches sex at birth, then you can have the treatments. But if you are trying to affirm gender identity that is not match sex at birth, that the treatments are too dangerous.
So what do hermaphrodites do?
Well, that's, so that would be like a genital defect, right? So then, like, I don't know, like, because usually parents end up choosing, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that was your sex at birth was
hermaphrodite. No, exactly. I mean, I'm not arguing for it. I'm just saying, like,
I know. It's so stupid.
Why, because under the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. So you can't have a law that says, yes, this group of people can have this treatment, but this group can't. Yeah. So either if the treatment is too dangerous for minors, or the effects or the possible effects are too dangerous for minors, then it should be too dangerous for all minors, not just so.
Why are you poo-pooing my postcard party?
I'm not poo-pooing your postcard party. I was just saying, I don't know. Do your postcard party. I mean, that's not really what I was talking about as far as like making yourself uncomfortable. Right.
Okay.
I'm talking about, like, I'm teaching material and talking about things that legally I'm not supposed to be talking about, maybe necessarily.
Okay.
And am I going to continue to do that to the point that I get fired? How much am I willing to put my own personal comfort, safety, whatever at risk to fight against? And that's what I'm talking about. Right. Like, am I willing to go out and put people's heads on spikes? Like, I don't know.
Not literally, though, right?
No, not literally. French Revolution. French Revolution reference there for you.
Well, I was like, I don't know that we need to go to violence.
No.
All right.
No. But, or like, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like having a heart, like, or even like when I hear someone, like I was talking to my kids about, like, the student was telling me sort of like a teacher saying, like, hey, are y'all just like, you're just one of those hot Cheeto girls, aren't you? Which is like basically a new version of saying ghetto. But like trying to be like, I'm so cool and hip. And like, so putting yourself, like making yourself uncomfortable to be like, hey, that's not an appropriate thing to say. And that's like a total racial microaggression, like, and like having conversations like that with people. So even just putting yourself out and making yourself uncomfortable in small ways like that to have the conversations. Right. So
I think that's one of those, tell me why it's funny.
Yeah.
Like act like you have no idea. Like what's hot? What does that mean?
I don't get it. Can you explain the joke to me?
Yeah. I don't understand the joke.
I may have to start doing that with the students who like are talking like, because freshmen are always like anything with gender and sexuality. It's just like oh my God, why can you not stop making gay jokes? Like, especially the boys. Like,
because they don't know what to do with their horniness.
Yeah.
It's okay to be horny for boys, no matter who you are.
It is. Yeah, no, I just like this movie. I think it's a great little tale. I'm probably, we're going to watch it in AP Gov.
Yeah.
It's got all that government shit going on in it. So
I just want to point out that this is the second week in a row where we have a Hollywood actress who was victimized by the Hollywood system. Natalie Wood was sexually assaulted as a teenager by a major Hollywood actor. He has been named in a book after his death.
That was shocking.
If you're interested
I guess it wasn't really. It was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Well, and also
it's pretty likely
by her husband.
Yeah, it's pretty likely her husband killed her too. So, it's really a fucking tragedy.
Like everything I was reading about it, like talks about like the driver of the boat, but it never says anything about what Christopher Walken said happened, even though he was.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm like, how big was this? Like, was he just hiding in a cabin like that? That was really annoying to me.
Yeah.
Like, he had no idea what was happening. Like, they didn't have noise canceling headphones then, buddy. What the fuck were you doing? Like,
yeah. You just passed out drunk. Like,
yeah, like what? I'm not trying to start a conspiracy if he was involved, but like,
you heard something.
You didn't hear anything?
Yeah. And also, like, they're not talking about it because, like, obviously you would have been interviewed by the police.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least they reopened it in 2018 and named Wagner as a person of interest.
Yeah. No. Because I remember that she died, like, fairly young. And so I went to look it up and I was like, oh, on a boat. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I had always heard, like, there's things about she was probably murdered, but, like, I didn't never really like look into it. So then last night I was like, okay, Natalie Wood, what's up with you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just tragic. So sad.
Yeah. Ain't it grand to be a woman? Wait.
Isn't it great that we have a whole podcast where we talk about this shit all the time?
Yes, it is. Over and 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 over again. It's great.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, I just ripped a check with a paperclip, which is a really old people way of saying something.
You ripped a check with a paperclip? What does that even mean?
Well, I have like money paperclip to this list of people that I'm doing all the holiday gift shopping for. And one of the things I had paperclipped was a check. And I literally just ripped it. And unfortunately, I ripped it on the fucking, like, whatever number, the account number. And I'm too tired.
You can tape it.
I'm so tired. What?
I'll take it to the bank. I'm sure they'll take it.
I mean, I'm just going to try to deposit it online. It'll be fine.
You just put it close together and take the picture.
Yeah, just, I think it's a 0. Looks like a 0.
You know who wrote the check? Can you just get them to write another one?
No. That sounds like too much work. I'm going to deal with that.
Oh, my Lord.
It'll be fine. It's a 0. Anyway, any last thoughts? You like this movie?
I was explaining to Elliot about phones, speaking of old people. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because I left my phone and he's like, go get it. And then later he was like, Daddy needs his phone and you need your phone. And da-da-da-da. When we're like driving around, I was like, you know that there was a time when we didn't have phones.
Right.
He's like, what did you have? And I was like, well, you know, your little black phone, we had those and they were stuck to the wall and they had a wire coming into them. And if someone called you and you weren't home, they just didn't get a hold of you.
Or they left you a voicemail.
Yeah. But, you know, and then, you know, if you got in a wreck or needed something while you were driving, they had payphones. So, yes. Life in the olden days. All right. I'm going to change clothes and go pick up our mother from the airport.
All right, that's it for this episode of I Love You But. Join us next week when we discuss... Fuck, I forgot to look it up.
I've never seen that before. A new one.
Fuck, I forgot to look it up.
Is that
when we discuss a classic, another classic, Christmas Story. Filmed in the 80s, set in the 40s. So this is the old cover.
I am not. Can I just say I'm not a fan of this movie, but we can talk about that next week.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'd like it if Elliot could watch it because I think it would be helpful for him to watch Ralphie cry because Ralphie cries a lot. And he might think,
cries a lot.
I know, but like, I mean, there are people in his life actively telling him boys don't cry. So it would be good for him to see examples of, yeah, they do. And it's totally good.
The other day he busted out with it.
And you can be horny for them.
Not talking about that yet. It was like
continue.
Pink, purple, and blue are girl colors. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Pink, purple, and rainbow. It's like two of his favorite colors. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. Colors are colors.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Hey, what made you laugh? What made you cringe? Was it hearing that there are girl colors and boy colors? Because that makes me cringe. What did we forget? And what should we talk about in future episodes? We want to know your thoughts. Find us on Instagram, Threads at I Love You But Pod, or email us at iloveyoubutpod@gmail.com. You know we will bring your email and comments in future episodes. Hey, if you take a minute, if you're still listening, be sure to rate, review, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening. I'm Heather.
I'm Rian, and we wish you lots and lots of conditional love.
Go get our neurotic mother from the airport.
Bye.
Bye.